What are some markers of contemporary Indian Pentecostalism? Pentecostalism has proved itself successful among the poor in India, with a focus among tribal and Adivasi and low-caste groups. A reason for its growth with these groups is its character of healing movement that attracts people that lack access to professional healthcare. Many Pentecostal pastors have historically only had a limited theological training, yet been able to communicate effectively in their own contexts. There is therefore an emphasis that comes to lie with reaching rural areas with the message. Among Adivasi and Dalit communities, these Pentecostals face particular challenges as multiple minority identities consolidate. In the study Contextual Missiology of the Spirit, Pentecostalism in Rajasthan, Wesley Lucas studied the way North Indian Pentecostals face challenges from more prominent and stronger religio-political groupings. Often the issue comes to center around a conceptualization of conversion to Christianity that symbolizes the Pentecostal political struggle. According to antagonists, Pentecostals purportedly partake in conversion practices among the low-caste and Adivasi, meaning the activity of evangelism or spreading of their faith is often close to forced, coerced, or otherwise problematic form of allurement of Hindu or other religious groupings of the context into Christianity. Accusations like these have had the effect of creating a very hostile environment for many Christians, and acts of physical violence, both against church buildings and individual believers, have been reported, largely because of the insistence of this critical discourse. From both official sources, like state governments, and unofficial sources, like other religious groupings with more adherents and social political influence, the Rajasthani Pentecostals are, according to Lucas, occasionally experiencing its leaders and institutions, like orphanages, schools, and churches in local villages, being prevented from functioning. In short, the success of Pentecostals among tribal communities in Rajasthan has not gone without its challenges, as success is met with opposition at times. Let us consider a different aspect of the movement and look to its relation to a more urban context. If we remain in the north and within the city of Gurgaon in Haryana, we here see examples of urban middle-class Pentecostal from very different contexts than the previously discussed groups in Rajasthan. In a recent study, Julia Kuhlin has focused on the experiences of middle-class women in Pentecostal churches. This is not a marginalized group as such, and therefore demonstrates the wide array of Pentecostal spectrum that exists. These churches have a different style and theology than the poor and working class Pentecostals, as material resources allow for the use of sound systems, professional musicians, and often air-conditioned places of worship. The pastors also have to have a much higher degree of theological training and being effective in the use of social media, such as YouTube or podcasting, as this becomes a natural part of communication and outreach in this group. A high participation of women is a marker of Pentecostalism in general, even though they rarely occupy formal authority in congregations. Looking at the lived experience of Pentecostal women in Gurgaon, Kuhlin notes that they identify themselves as believers rather than Pentecostals, and weren't seemingly very interested in what differentiated their church from others. The focus of spirituality was on a personal relationship with God. Further, in the neoliberal and expansive form of middle class that exists in Gurgaon, the women exemplified how well Pentecostalism can cater to this group. The risk of being Pentecostal, in terms of losing social capital among colleagues, friends, or family because of converting into Christianity, proved itself to run parallel to the risk involved with being middle class, with all the instabilities and insecurities that comes with being a part of this group in terms of job security, house markets, or living situations. In conclusion, Contemporary Pentecostalism has proved itself a religious movement fit for both a rural and urban context in modern India, and have rooted itself deeply in this religious landscape. The Pentecostal and charismatic aspects of healing, exorcisms, or emphasis on a close personal relationship with God through the Spirit is an attractive movement within Indian Christianity.